get the name on again. So 2 faint guidelines, and put the name on. Underline it. Always leave just a small gap between the underline and a stop. Just go back the other way so you get your line exactly where you need it. So with isometric, it's all based on drawing lines at 30 degrees. So you remember in oblique views we would start by drawing a square and come off at 45 degrees, but the overall look is not that realistic. So with isometric, I either have vertical lines. When I sketch my vertical line, I always sort of use the edge of the paper as a reference to try to get it parallel to that, and then we come off at 30 degrees. So this side comes off at 30 degrees, 30, and this side comes off at 30 degrees like that, 30. So if I just start by drawing a cube, so that line goes up there to 30 degrees, a line parallel to it, 30 degrees, and that one there, a line parallel to that, it's got to intersect that point, 30 degrees, and then a vertical line for that edge there, and then to put the top on from here, it's got to be parallel to this one, so that goes up at that angle, and then we can see, right, that's going to look approximately cubish there, and where it hits that, we'll take that one along at 30 degrees as well. So we can see it's actually made up from 3 sets of parallel lines. We've got 3 vertical lines, 1, 2, 3. 3 lines at 30 degrees that way, 1, 2, 3, and 3 lines at 30 degrees that way, 1, 2, 3. If I just line this in, alright, it's not a perfect cube, but never mind. And it does give a more realistic look. Now, the common mistakes are that this shape on the top ends up as a square. So instead of being a nice parallelogram, so if we've done it right, that should be 60 degrees, that should be 120, right? This should not be anywhere near 90 degrees. Well, that's a popular error to make. And if I just draw a baseline on there, so that would be 30, that's 30. So that's just starting off, and all of these lines, the vertical and the ones at 30 degrees, they're known as isometric lines. So the shapes that we're going to start with are all going to have isometric lines, and you can continue doing isometric drawing, and then we'll introduce non-isometric lines in a little while. So we'll just start off by practicing some of that simple shapes, and you can start off by drawing either the top, this face, that face, anywhere you like. So I'm going to start off with a vertical line like that, and this is going to be like a tall block, a line at 30 degrees, line at 30 degrees, draw in a vertical, and come up this way at 30 degrees, sketch there, and then just draw in another vertical like that, and then we'll put the top on, that's 30 degrees, that's 30 degrees, and then put the top on like that. Another common mistake is you sketch a line in there, and then people are tempted to join that up to that, and it just looks daft, but that line, find one that's got a big parallel to that. And that's okay, now we can line those in. That's another very simple basic shape, so we'll go something for ever so slightly more complicated, and this time we're going to start off with the top part of this shape. So there is my parallelogram. go there, and it's going to come down like this. Vertical lines coming straight down. Right, this is a sort of L shape, so that's going to stop there, but this one's going to come a bit further down. Then the 30 degrees coming that way, let's stop it about there. Right, and while I'm drawing these lines, I'm checking all the time, is this one parallel to that, is that one parallel to that, is that one parallel, are these ones all parallel together? If you just keep sort of checking, it just helps to keep the whole thing looking a bit more realistic. We can line that in. Right, now if you've got that shape, this L shape in your mind, what we should be able to do is to move it around to a different orientation in your head, or if you like, view it from a different viewpoint. So what I'm going to do is, there's that one. I'm going to imagine it's taken there, it's just going to be turned 90 degrees, pointing that way. So if I'm going to start again, I'm going to start with the verticals this time. Because I'll start with the verticals, I think that's going to be best to make the best use of my paper, so I can make it as long as I can. It's going to come down to there. That's coming off at 30 degrees. And this face is like the back part of that. Right, and there's the top. Going on. And that is going to go up that way. And then from that corner it's going to be parallel to that side, and it will just hit that with a slight chance I might have time that lays there, but that's okay. Right, obviously you're probably aware that you can get isometric paper to help you draw isometric sketches. You can also get spotty paper to help you with these as well. But you don't really, once you get the hang of just drawing 30 degrees or approximately 30 degrees, it all works out quite well. So I'm going to try another L shape, except this time I want the front part here of the L to come to a point, a bit like the bow of a ship. So just to make it a little bit more involved. So there's the top of the L. And again, I'm going to do it in a different orientation to the other two I've just done, just to show that I can turn it around in my head and on the paper. Right, it's not going to go up to there, but it's going to come down a bit more. Let's see that there. See, that's a little bit out there, but up there. Now, I want the front of this to come to the point. So what I'll do is, I'm going to see right this, the very centre there, and that's where the point's going to go to. The sort of shoulders, where it comes down to on the bow of the ship, they're going to be in line with each other, like that. Right, so one's going to be this point here and that point there, so that's going to join up like that. That one's going to join up to there. If I drop a faint vertical line down there till it hits here, then that part is going to go down here. And these parts here, right, they were just drawn in to help me create this shape. That's a technique called crating. So you imagine that the shape is inside a crate or a box. Right, I'll just line that in. Right, I could get a rub and rub those bits out, but I'm just going to leave it. but take me time a little more, probably would have had them a little bit fainter. Again, still not too complicated. So imagine we wanted to draw a bracket of some sort, because all of these have been quite L-shaped. So this one's going to be T-shaped, but I'm going to create this T in a square box, nice big square box. That sort of orientation, just get that reasonably with that. Right, and then the thickness, I don't want it very thick. Comes down there. So my T is going to fit inside this crate. So the top bar of the T is going to come across there like that. The leg of the T. I take that distance and make sure that I've got the same distance on that side. Down there. That's going to have a little bit of thickness there, a little bit of thickness there, like that. Comes down. Now, what I want to do, instead of just being square here, I want this to have a nice smooth radius corner. So what I'm going to do is imagine that this was a, we'll take a square of this on the end, so whatever length that is, up there the same length, and so we've got this square like that. Now in a similar way to what we're doing with the oblique, I can draw the best sort of ellipse in here that I can. It's going to touch that side in the centre at a tangent, that at a tangent, that at a tangent, and it's going to be sort of squashed that way. Of course we're not going to need all of it. We just need the part that comes around here, but I'm just drawing the whole thing in so you can see where the idea comes from. So that's going to come along there like that. That's going to come around there. It's going to come around here. And go back that way. And that's going to drop down exactly the same shape underneath, dropping that down to there. It's going to come out of that edge. And that's going to disappear if I just drop a vertical line down from this vertical line straight down, and then you'll just see a little bit of that, and it goes past there, that centre point just goes a little way past there and joins up with that, dropping down dropping down the line, vertical line down there, catches that up. And if I want to do fancy, we could do a little radius in there in a similar fashion, but we're not going to do that. I'm just going to move my paper because that helps me to draw straight around like that. Just keep it a little bit thick there. Right, if this was a bracket, it would probably need some fixing holes there, so what I shall do is I will simply sketch in two squares here, both about the same size. And I can just round that off. And because this material is fairly thick, you don't actually see a little bit, but if that was a blind hole, it was only going down, say, to halfway, then you would see almost sort of parallel to that, you'd see that sort of thing in there. But we'll leave it like that, and we'll do the same with this one. So yeah, bracket wouldn't really have a blind hole, but just another little technique. Okay, so if you haven't tried doing those shapes, again, you may want to practice each shape more than the once that I've done it until you get the hang of it, but do watch out for avoiding getting a square on the top. Keep checking that your lines are vertical, 30 degrees that way, 30 degrees that way, and then try a couple of shapes with non-isometric lines. Little exercise in creating, just to see how that turns out. And do an L shape and try that in different orientations so you're turning it around in your head.